What's going on, everybody? This is Randall Barnes, the founder of HBCU Pulse and the host of HBCU Pulse Radio, in the building for another special edition of the show on today, where we're talking about College Hill Celebrity Edition, Season 3, Episode 4, came out on July the 4th. And it's sort of a lot of the same, but we're going to try our best to make it different. I got Kiya Wimbush-Robinson in the building, HBCU Pulse writer. How you doing today, Kiya?
I'm good, Randall. How are you?
I'm good, but listen, I don't want to make this episode of us like recapping College Hill the same as last week. But I left outside of like sort of Carlos Miller cleaning up his act, and we talked about it. But I left sort of feeling the same way because Saucy Santana gotta go. What is wrong with him? Kiya, I don't know. Kiya, what's going on?
I don't know. You're going to have to ask Saucy. I don't know. I honestly feel like at his age, at his big age, because that he lacks accountability. He doesn't want anyone to tell him anything, whether that's his classmates or the people at the university. He doesn't like being told what to do. He even said it. He says, as like the more people try to tell me to do the right thing, it makes me want to do the wrong thing. And when I saw that, I'm like, what are you, 5? And don't get me wrong, I love Sauce Santana down, but it's like you're acting like a child. You're there for a reason. It's like I always think there's a time and place for everything. You can't bring Love and Hip Hop Antics to College Hill Celebrity Edition. These are two different shows with two different like purposes. So it's like you can't act like how you do on Love and Hip Hop on the show. It's a whole different dynamic. He was acting very childish, which is very disappointing because I am a fan. But it's like eventually you're gonna have to grow up.
I totally agree. And see, here's my thing when it comes to the conversations about how people act relative to their age. I think that when we look at maturity, I think that it is age relative, but I also think it is experience relative, because you could have two 12-year-olds or two 15-year-olds, and one can be traditionally childish. The other one can be, oh, they act more mature for their age. Sometimes that's based on experience. Sometimes that's based on nurture. Sometimes that's based on how you are raised. You might be an older sibling, and you have to look after your younger siblings. You might be an only child, and it might be childishness that your parents enable. Like, I don't like saying, oh, this person's 33, so they should act their age, because there's some childish 33-year-olds, and there are some very mature 25, 26, 27-year-olds. I would say we are those mature 25, 26, 27-year-olds. So they're like, oh, these 26-year-olds, they act like Saucy Santana. No, we don't. We don't. And like, I just think that like when I look at Saucy Santana, I am now looking at I'm looking at him in this way. I'm looking at him as not someone that is immature. He's not acting like he's 33 years old. I'm looking at a Saucy Santana, like you said, that is not taking accountability, that I think is to a certain point playing things up for the camera. And I'm looking at a Saucy Santana that should never have been on this show in the first place. Why are you here?
I think they chose him to like because he's Saucy Santana and that he was going to bring in viewers, but they honestly could have gotten someone else, and I feel like it could have been equally as entertaining. But you're absolutely right as far as like maturity. It does have to do a lot, not only with your age but your environment. Like my mom always says that me and my brother are way more older than when we were like than what our actual ages are. My mom was like when my brother was like 4 or 5 and he was in the bathtub with our grandma, he was singing Aretha Franklin, and my mom asked him, he was like, where did you learn that from? Because it really like shocked her. And she asked my brother like, how do you know that song? He was like, I don't know, mommy, I just like it. And me and my brother are 15 years apart, so he's older than I am. And my brother, like his whole life, has acted. He's an old man. Like my brother is 40. He acts like he's like 70 because he's just so like chill, laid back. The how you expect someone throughout his life to act, he's never been like that. And even with myself, like I'm not your average 25-year-old. I hate the club. I don't go out partying. I'd rather be at home in the bed. So it's like you do have a point, but I just feel like as an adult, there is a certain way that you should carry yourself. And Saucy Santana is not carrying himself, in my opinion, as an adult. And to be honest, I've met I've been in college twice, and I've been where he's been, and even during that time, me and my friends wasn't acting like that. When it was time to buckle down, you buckle down, because at the end of the day, you're there for an education. I always tell people it's like have fun, but remember why you're there, and it seems like he forgot. So
I don't think he ever knew. I really think that, and I just feel like he never knew really what this experience is supposed to be. And like, there are so many ways to go with Saucy Santana because it's all about him. Like, I guess the Saucy Santana show, and everybody like is just along for the ride, and even Carlos at this point, because he has become the main fixture of a show that is supposed to be about how celebrities interact with the HBCU environment. And I just think that when we look at college, like we look at the sort of the maturity aspect, but college is different than any other schooling that you go through in your life. Like I'm not going to postgraduate school yet or ever. I don't know if I will. Like you did. I don't know if I will. But like I know that once you get out of grade school, kindergarten to 12th grade, and you go to college, there is a stark difference because someone might ask, well, what's the difference between high school and college? What's the difference between middle school and college? The academic rigor for sure, but also that social environment. Like typically, I know for some high schools and middle schools, you might live on campus or different things like that. But in college, it's sort of a different vibe because of that level of freedom. Your parents are sort of hands off. Like the faculty and administrator, the staff, the professors, like they expect for you to handle your business, be on top of your stuff, get up on time. You're able to sort of shape your destiny in a controlled environment versus in high school. Typically, for a lot of us, we in school and then you go home. You might stick around to be a cheerleader. You might stick around to play basketball, football. You might stick around for the football game. Then you go home, but you're on that campus. You can stay out and be in the student center until it closes, or be out in the yard and talk all night. I've done that before. And then you got to be up at 9 o'clock for that class. Like there's a different academic rigor and social experience that you get in college. But my thing that I think the celebrities aren't fully understanding, like I said last week, you are adult learners, you're non-traditional students, and we all are here. None of this is happening. None of the social experience, none of the concerts with the celebrities, the lectures, all this different stuff, the football games, the rivalry games, the Twitter beefs, or what have you, if they still do that. All of that ain't happening if we ain't in school to learn. And I think that when you look at College Hill, like the ones we watched, like you had the one at VSU, the one in the Virgin Islands, you have the Southern one and the Langston ones that are like locked away at BET's headquarters forever. Like, and some clips are out. Like you look at those clips. Yes, at Southern, white SGA president that ran. You had the probates, all these different things. Langston was a little bit different. They were in a house and it was going crazy. But you look at VSU, which is my favorite season, season 3. You look at Virgin Islands. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Shout out to y'all because that was my favorite season. Then you have season 4. Yes, the fight happened in season 4. Yes, you have the cognac situation and all the other stuff that happened in season 3. But they were going to class, they were doing homework, and it did chronicle them doing their stuff within their campus organizations. You had Will that was on the football team. You had Greeks, you had cheerleaders. So it was a different view of the college experience from traditional students. The celebrity edition is supposed to be you're in this accelerated course and you're getting your college education, and that's something that seemed like you wanted. So I just don't understand why any celebrity, Saucy Santana, Ray J, whoever, doesn't understand the expectation that you are grown and this is a college experience for an adult, and you're only here for what, I guess, 4 weeks for them this year. I just don't understand why they won't get to them.
yeah, I think because it's like well, I don't know because I'm not famous yet, but I feel like when you're so used to being in the spotlight, especially in reality space, because both Ray J and Saucy Santana have been on Love and Hip Hop, and Ray J been around since I don't know when. So it's like when you're constantly in the spotlight or you're constantly in this certain environment, it's kind of that's all that you know. They're used to the antics on Love and Hip Hop and the craziness and the partying and all the other stuff, especially with Saucy Santana being a rapper. That's honestly his lifestyle. yeah, he's not necessarily like a little baby or 21 Savage in the typical rapper sense, because he is who he is, and that's what makes him sets him apart from the others, and that's what makes him great. But he's still a rapper, so it's like he's used to the long nights out, party in the club, 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. So I feel like for people like Saucy Santana and Ray J, they haven't they haven't stepped outside of what they know, which is the reality show space, being Love and Hip Hop or whatever other shows they've been on. Because it's like on those shows, that's what they do. They'd be like, "Oh, well, we're about to go." If you look, they always in the club when some stuff go down, or they'll go to like a little meeting or whatever, or they'll be like, "Oh, you know who it is? I'm in the studio." Are you really? We ain't heard no music from people on Love and Hip Hop for real, but that's like kind of like the standard of the show. They link up, they have drama, they party. So it's like you can't act like that on this show. You supposed to be in class. You supposed to be doing homework. Yeah, y'all have fun, y'all chill a little bit, but that's about it. Like you can't apply what you do over here over there.
And I think that that's very true. And I just, because there's a difference between reality TV shows, and it's clear that even if
Yeah.
you look at the old College Hill, it was so different.
Yeah.
Because I want to say this again for folks that don't understand when it comes to the OG College Hill. And I consider myself someone that is very informed in this, because I might be one of the only people walking around out here that has talked to folks from season 1, from season 2, from season 3, and season 4, and gotten their opinions about College Hill, how they were portrayed, all these different things. And when you look at College Hill, how it was relayed to me in talking to Willie Mack and talking to Rodney from VSU and talking to a lot of these folks that were on the earlier seasons, that's the foundation of the celebrity edition, is it was not a reality TV show, how folks view reality TV. Because I have folks that's told me, oh, this is fake. Oh, this is contrived. This isn't real. But College Hill, the ethos of it is a docu-series. Yes, the branding was College Hill was the first Black reality TV series, and that's fine. It was based off of the real world. That was the ethos. That was how it was presented and put together. But there were cameras all around the house. They like, and back in the day, they couldn't do nothing. Like there weren't cameras in the bathroom, but there was cameras all around that thing. Like you literally couldn't even change without it being a camera watching you. Now they can't show that, of course. They get into trouble. But I'm just saying, like you couldn't even change. Like you couldn't even talk. You had to sneak out. I was told by cast members you had to sneak out, like just to get a level of reprieve, because there's cameras all around the house, camera crews filming everything. And they were filming it to then look at it and then splice together those best parts that would be great for TV. And sometimes there was narrative spinning. And I'm not saying that maybe Saucy Santana is not a victim of narrative spinning, but I want to say that number one, I don't think that how Saucy Santana is acting, I don't think this is fake. I don't think this is contrived. I don't think that this is what modern day reality TV has turned into. I think that this is true to the ethos. It might be some contrived stuff. I don't know. But I think it's true to the ethos of what College Hill has always been, that this is a docuseries and they're trying to cover these celebrities going through the college experience. But I just wonder, and I will continue to say this, I might say this exact same thing next week, because will it change? I don't know. But did these celebrities do their research on this show? Did they watch the first 2 celebrity edition seasons at Texas Southern and at Alabama State? Did they really think that they were going to come in and turn up and link up and it was going to all be peaches and cream? Because you saw Ray J go home season 1. You saw Jocelyn and Amber. They got to fighting. This ain't Love and Hip Hop. They went home. We did not see them again, except on a FaceTime screen. Like literally. Like I just do not understand why any person, any solitary person out of these 6 people really thought that this experience, Kiya, would be different. Like that is the part that sort of baffles me, because to me, Kiya, it's entertaining, but to a point, because season 1 was really entertaining. And outside of Ray J, acting like a jackass. Honestly, that's just Ray J's brand at this point. It was really fun. Season two, the fight thing that wasn't really me. That don't like get me going. I don't the fight thing. I don't really like that. But like season two was really fun outside of all of that. Once Jocelyn, because I'm not going to like season two was perfect. Once Jocelyn calmed down, we was cooking. Once they got her to understand, Jocelyn, stop bullying Parker. Jocelyn, stop trying to go back and forth with Amber and New York. Once they calmed her down, it was amazing until the fight, until the build-ups and the remnants of the fight. Like this season has been ruled by, of course, Carlos and the homeless thing, which looks like we wrapped that up. And now Saucy, they're trying to get him to be a part of this, and he is kicking and screaming against it and lying to them and gaslighting everybody. It's just not an enjoyable watch to me, just seeing this storyline play out to me.
No, I can see that because it's just like it's kind of like when you watch a movie and there's a sequel and then there's like a whole bunch of sequels and like each sequel gets like really, really bad afterwards. It's like the first few may be great and then after that it just goes like downhill. And I can honestly say, yeah, this cast really isn't like I don't know. It's just like giving me I don't know, I can't really put my finger on it, but it just seems like to me the only people who kind of understand what's going on, like from a point of yeah, we have a lot of work to do, is honestly like Claudia and I will honestly say, even Nick, like Nick is someone he's more like laid back with his approach, but he's like, yeah, we got work to do. Like he's like, I feel like those two are like the main people because maybe because they have been in an academic environment before. Even though Nick got drafted, like when he was still like in school, and Claudia, actually graduated. I feel like they're the only people who understand what's really going on, and even down to them like, oh, this is a lot of work. You also have to take into account they graduated like years ago. So it's like that could be a reason too. But I feel like they get like the gist. And even down to Tamar and Angela, I feel like they get it too, but they really don't like I don't know, they don't have like that full concept. Carlos, it's like he get it sometimes and then Saucy's just saucy. So
What's going on, everybody? Randall Barnes with HBCU Pulse here. And did you know that learning actually has a sound? It's true. Listen, you heard that? That's the sound of learning a new language with Babel. Sometimes learning a language can be overwhelming, especially as a college student. You have to constantly worry about your major subjects, your organizations, eating in the calf, all these different things. And it's not just that, because if you actually do have a foreign language class, you might need a tutor. And finding a tutor to learn a new language is just as difficult as anything else that you deal with in your college experience. But look no further. Babel is here to help. Don't pay hundreds of dollars for private tutors or try to track down someone on your campus to help you or just waste hours on apps that really won't help you either. Babel's convenient courses help me learn real life conversations in a different language. It's easy to prep for my trip abroad and learning how to ask for directions because it's summer, so we're going to be outside. How to order food, how to speak to merchants, how to really have fun when you're out the country. And I don't have to go to these other apps. I don't have to do all these different things because I have Babel and it is priceless. Plus, they have speech recognition technology, which improves your pronunciation and also your accent. If this sounds good, download Babel today. Now, here's a special limited time deal for our listeners for HBCU Pulse Radio. Right now, get up to 60% off your Babel subscription, but only for listeners of our show at babbel.com/HBCU. Get up to 60% off of your Babel order at babbel.com/HBCU. And that's spelled BABBEL.com/HBCU. Rules and restrictions may apply, and tell them Randall sent you. I want to say this before we dive into some moments of the episode. The BET Awards for this past weekend, okay?
mm-hmm.
Outside
Mm-hmm.
of me not hearing anything that Usher said, okay, I really enjoyed it.
Man, I thought he was cussing. I was like, oh my gosh.
Well, I mean, he sort of was. He sort of was cussing up a storm. I mean, but some of the stuff he was saying, like, I guess the censor button broke. Okay, like, and they just couldn't turn the
I
audio
was
back
so mad.
on.
I was mad because I'm like, I just heard someone say private part this and B word that and all. I'm just like, so I can't hear the speech.
But during the BET Awards, you have the College Hill cast from this season. All of them, all six of them, came out and they presented the BET Her Award, which surprisingly, this is sort of off topic. Went to Victoria Monet, who I was very excited for, but I thought Megan was going to win that. But nevertheless, that's the whole different conversation. But they were presenting it, and the cast just didn't seem like they really were vibing. And I know it is one moment. I am fully aware. I am not an insider. I have sort of folks I've talked to from the original seasons. I'm not an insider, and I cannot read people's minds. I do not have access to text messages. They might have went to Applebee's after that and just been wilding out. I do not know. Do rich people go to Applebee's? I don't know. Because if I was rich, I'd probably go to Applebee's. I don't know. But like, I don't know if they actually really cool. I don't know the intricacies of the relationships. But there is, to me, just a vibe that tells me that these folks do not like each other. Because it seemed like, for me, season one, it seemed like they got along. But this season three, it just feels like there is some level of a contempt, at the very least, that's stemming from Saucy. And then maybe we look at this season preview, this preview for next episode. It looks like it's gonna get contentious. They're gonna really go back and forth with each other. Like, and I'm trying to quantify it because I'm not the be all end all. I'm not omnipresent. So I don't know what's really going on. But is it just me? If I'm crazy, let me know. It just seems like from the first episode to now seeing them live on the BET Awards, like it's live in delay on the BET Awards, like that they just do not vibe. Do you see the same?
I definitely can pick up on like they don't vibe with each other, but from what I've gathered from the episodes that have aired in the next one, what it seems like the people that have been chosen do not like being told about themselves. Because when someone tells you about yourself and you hate to face that harsh reality, you act out. Like, what do you mean? Even down to Saucy and Nick. Nick really like bought with Saucy. Like even back to like last episode when they were like bringing up like the whole being absent, and Nick was like, "Well, what if it's a family emergency?" He's talking about Saucy and Bianca. Like, so I can tell Nick really vibes with Saucy, but it's like Saucy Santana doesn't like being told what to do. He, like I said, he lacks accountability. He hates to be like, if someone's sitting here having a mirror up to your face, say, "This is what you look like," and you hate and you don't want to face that hard truth, you're gonna act out. Even as we saw, like in the preview for like the next season, and Claudia was talking about guys self medicating and they're still miserable. It probably struck a nerve. Because when someone we don't as people we don't like to be called out on our stuff. That's just the human thing to do. Because we have to get to a place where we want to like say, okay, well maybe I am X, Y, and Z. But if you call out before me, oh now you're being funny, or now you're being this, now you're being that. So I feel like for this cast, they recognize a lot within each other and they're calling each other out on it and they don't like that. And then I've also noticed like with Saucy Santana specifically with him is that he reverts to attacking someone else when someone's trying to tell him something. Because how he came at Nick talking about someone with his bad knees and this, that, and the third. He's trying to help you out before you get kicked out of school. And your first instinct is to throw insults like a kid. So it's kind of like I feel like they don't mess with each other well because they call each other out on their stuff and it's just like, don't do that.
That whole entire thing with Saucy saying the thing about Nick's knees, I did not like that at all. It's funny because a lot of people think this is funny, and I'm different. Like I have accepted that I am just personally me. I am different, and if I wasn't reviewing this, I'd be watching this College Hill Celebrity Edition. I would still watch it, and I would be saying this like to myself or to people that don't watch the show that do not understand. So I was like, why not try to make money off of this? Why not have this be a part of my job? Like, I was like, might as well, because I do this for the other shows I watch. So like, I'm like, I really, this is really me. This is not an act. I really just want to see these celebrities go through a great HBCU experience at this amazing HBCU, because I cannot overstate enough. Zula is an amazing institution. And of course, I'm supposed to say that because I'm an HBCU Pulse guy. Because I'm not going to say, oh, this HBCU is cool, but that one sucks. Like, that's not my ethos. That's not what I'm supposed to do. But I cannot overstate that we have our differing opinions in the HBCU community about the U.S. News and World Report rankings. But when you look at them as, hey, like, they're sort of like an unbiased outlet. So like, they don't have the bias of, hey, I went to Fort Valley, so I think it's number one. Like, they don't have that bias, or like this or that have a distance from the HBCU experience, and they're going off different factors that are being submitted, and they do those rankings. And Zula is always in the top 10 overall for HBCU. So you're at a top 10 HBCU that's right up there with Morehouse, with Spelman, with Hampton, with Howard, with Tuskegee, like with North Carolina A&T and Florida A&M. Like, you're like, they're up there with those institutions. They might not get the same level of press that comes with it, and this is a good look for them because they showed College Hill Celebrity Edition after the BET Awards. I got to look at those numbers, but they got a great lead in from the BET Awards. So this is great, like, attention for them. But at the same time, I think that how the attention comes matters. And I think that when you look at the episode and you look at how even this episode specifically, how they're treating the celebrities and how they're trying to frame the story, they're trying to preserve the image of Zula, as they should. Because if you look at the assignments, like, you go to just like the first part of the episode where they had me in the first half. In my article recap, I said, you had me in the first half, I'm not going to lie. Because I'm like, oh, if this is how this episode is going to go on July the 4th, where we go into the Whitney Plantation Slavery Museum, I'm like, let's do this. This is giving me the Alabama State vibes, where now we're going to talk about the history and really get these celebrities to atone with the fact that, hey, y'all are blessed. We all are blessed because this is how it used to be. And then you saw sort of the storytelling element of them tying into the, hey, like, we're blessed to be here because our ancestors, Black folks that were enslaved, like, they were penalized for trying to get their education. And that's the brilliance of this experience, because y'all are voluntarily, willingly doing this. Y'all don't gotta do this. Y'all are blessed. Y'all are talented. Y'all have all these amazing things y'all got going on, but our ancestors really had to go through it. And then they showed the parallel of Saucy not being there. I'm like, I'm really liking sort of the parallel of how they're telling the story from a storytelling aspect, because, you know, we're media professionals, so like, we see it from a different lens, right? So then they have like the elders that came and talked to them, and then they had to do the interview with them. And then you have Dr. Sharon Roberts, who is the chair of mass communications and their mass communications professor, and talks about how as HBCU students, we got to train our students to be 3 times better because we always getting looked down on. You from Zula, you from Morehouse, you from Fort Valley or VSU, and it's like, oh, like they ain't taught, they ain't compete with no one from Georgia Tech. Oh, Georgetown, or they knocking them down from Howard. Like, that is how we're viewed. So these celebrities are getting the same level of rigor that someone that is a traditional student that's 18 and 22 is getting. And for me, it's like, you're seeing that. And I think that some of the celebrities are understanding that. I think Carlos was great when he did the spoken word piece and Tamar started singing. I honestly thought, for me, that wasn't funny to me. I thought that was amazing. And I'm like, I think now we're getting somewhere. But then you go from that to then they go to Dr. Fraser and every sense of understanding of self. And we went to this plantation and we understand what our ancestors went through. Like, when Dr. Fraser's the image of this man with all the sweaters, okay, he has a different sweater. Have you noticed that?
That's you. He stayed with a sweater. He reminds me of my middle school principal. Every single day, my middle school principal had a different sweater vest in a different color. Every single day.
He has a different He has a different sweater for every occasion. He be dripped out too. He be dripped out.
What you
But
say? He got that stuff on though. He got it on.
yeah, you do. He do. I gotta admit, with Dr. Frazier, like he not listen. I'm on BET. I'm gonna be the focus of this season because like this every other class they rocking, but this class they just can't get with this class. And my thing is this: so we leave that beautiful portion of the episode that even Saucy was sort of like engaged in. Then you get to the Dr. Frazier part and they decide, you know what? We just so tired of just failing. So we're going to go celebrate our failure. And we're going to see, we gonna see Tamar's fiance and just get to twerking and smoking hookah, knowing good and well
they said,
we did.
Today drains me after a day of doing nothing. Today drains me.
Like literally, they're sitting there and they are doing their homework for the classes. Now they know they got this bill that for some reason they're acting as if trying to do just this assignment that probably is the easiest thing they would do through this whole entire course load. It's just so challenging. And Claudia is politically astute and all of them are just stumped. So you know what we're going to do? Instead of us not doing this assignment, let's go turn up. And then they're like, well, we drunk, y'all. We got this assignment. We just out here. We just drunk. We don't know what we gonna do. How about you don't go out before you presented the bill? Because if y'all go out and turn up and celebrate and smoke some hookah and do whatever, or do what my girl Angela White was doing, which what I would have doing, looking at y'all looking stupid, okay? Look, that's what I would have been like. All right, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do hookah, so like y'all do y'all. I'm just here chilling. I'm just here kicking it with y'all. Okay,
for the vibes. I'm here for the vibes.
Like at this point, but like they go and a lot of them are drunk, they sleepy, and they go to that class and you don't have your stuff together. I'm so it's so crazy to me.
Yeah, it is crazy to me. So maybe this is just me, as you know, HBC student, but maybe you can add to something. When they walked in and they were like, "We're presenting today," and I saw the way they were dressed, I'm like, y'all really not getting the full HBCU experience because the way our professor said, the day you present, come dressed, no shorts, no t-shirts, no sneakers, no nothing. Come looking correct. So it's just like I really feel like they don't grasp what they're doing. Like, yes, it's a completely different like you said, they're non-traditional students, but I just found that so funny because if I have a presentation, I've given many presentations in my day. Each time, I had to be dressed a certain way. My work has to be outlined a certain way. So for them just to be coming like chilling, like, hey, like we did it, but we didn't do it good. It's like y'all don't. If y'all think this is hard, just imagine what like the actual students as we will go through.
Yeah, I gotta say this because we're going to talk about Saucy Santana now. This is Saucy Santana section of the recap. Did you see the part? Okay, this whole entire you said you love Bianca. Did you see the part of the episode?
Like when he said she was gonna give Bianca up for adoption.
You know
like,
exactly
all that, and you were gonna give up your baby.
That you know exactly what I was talking about. I was just about to say that. Where
Bianca's going up for adoption. Because the thing is, they know Sauce. They said, if you're not going to do it for yourself, at least do it for Bianca. So he said, F Bianca. I don't care about Bianca anymore. Like, and you was just, he and then hauling about Bianca the last episode.
See, Kiya, you remember when we talked about this last recap, okay? So, as you know, as we're recording this, it's July the 5th. Yesterday was July the 4th. And outside of it being, July the 4th, it was the day that Kendrick Lamar dropped Not Like Us, okay? So that's the song everybody goes crazy over. Video was great. But the song that I go back to when I'm writing and when I'm doing my thing, I listen to Euphoria, all right? And in Euphoria said that like Kendrick said that Drake is a master manipulator and a habitual liar too. That's Saucy Santana. Because Saucy Santana is the type of manipulator that uses any and everything to weasel their way out of something. And that is who Saucy Santana is, at least from what I'm seeing on College Hill Celebrity Edition. Bianca was a device for him to stay home because he ain't want to go to class. Then when Bianca, like, oh, do it for Bianca. I'm putting Bianca up for adoption. Ha ha ha. Using your hilarity to weasel your way out of accountability. Then now you're not going to class, and you going to tell Dr. Peyton Stewart, who's an academic advisor and the associate provost. Shout out to Peyton Stewart. I've been going to class, y'all. They lying on me. XYZ. Sir.
We got
Yeah, we said
three episodes of you not going to class.
We both said sir at the same time because we had the exact same thought. We first and foremost, in my mind, and I'm gonna give the counter argument. We got video footage of you, but here's the counter argument, Kai. The counter argument is maybe the producers are like, we're invisible, we're not here, so don't come to us for the video. We're just documenting the experience, so we ain't gonna give you the video. Okay, maybe that is what happened. Even with the Bianca gate, maybe it was like we are invisible. Treat us like we Danny Phantom. All right, we going ghost. We not here, but. If so we gonna trust Saucy Santana's word over Dr. Frazier, over Dr. Stewart, over all these different folks that you did not come to class for that day. So they're lying on you. They're singling you out. And you're gonna talk to Dr. Peyton Stewart like that. And this is what upset me. Someone that ain't a celebrity, someone that really does this in real life, when College Hill leaves Zula, she's going to be there academic advising and being the provost, trying to get the students at Zula to uphold the standard of excellence that Zula exhibits all of the time. To where they're one of the top 10 HBCUs in the nation, right? And she's there all the time. She's there helping people. That is her job. And you're going to talk to her like that and treat her like that. I am not gonna lie to you. That got me heated, and maybe it's because also my mom is an educator and she worked in a college setting and high school and all this different stuff. She's still a teacher. Maybe I saw my mom in Dr. Peyton Stewart. And also, I was someone that wasn't a fan of people that did that in general. I wasn't trying to be no goody two shoes, but I really didn't like.
It's a respect thing. It's a respect thing. Like my mom, listen, my mom always said, especially when it came to school, you embarrass me, I'm gonna embarrass you. And let me tell you something, Lawanda is someone you do not want to embarrass. But just watching him with her, it's just like he does not have like even I don't know who said it, like even though they're adults, you still have to respect someone in this like this authoritative role. Like she is the person that comes to you and want to talk to her. You talking about some babe. She said, it's Dr. Payne. It's Miss Toller. It's Miss Toller. He said, babe. I said, oh. Like, and even with me being a sub, I've seen that. Like I have kids because like I sub high school, and because me and the high school kids are like semi close in age, they think because I'm around their age that we can do all that disrespect. No, because I was once in your shoes, and my mom would have never let me act the way that you're acting right now. Like, it's honestly embarrassing. So, you as an adult talking to someone like that is crazy. And then don't get mad to something. I need a minute. I need a minute when the camera's all in your face. Like, drama. It was just so. It was such like a dramatic. Like that whole scene was just so drama filled because once again he does not want to take accountability for his actions. You don't go to class. You don't do the assignment. So it's like there's proof. Even if we don't ask the teachers, ask your classmates, people you live with. So everyone's lying on you. Have you ever watched Drake and Josh?
Oh yes, but I would say sometimes, unfortunately, because of Dan Snyder, because I look back now, I'm like, oh my gosh, but yes, I did. Yes,
it's this one episode where Drake and Josh are getting into it about something, and Drake says to Josh, "You calling me a liar?" And Josh says, "I ain't calling you a truther."
Calling you a truther?
Yeah, I'm calling you a liar because you're sitting here lying to my face. You're lying straight to my face. You're lying straight to that lady's face. After talking to the professors, I'm pretty sure She could pull up the video. Sir, you're not going to class. Simple. And it's so crazy is that even after all of that, even after his teacher saying, yeah, I've never seen Mr. Santana, he don't turn no work, nothing, they're still willing to give him another chance. And that's honestly something that I love about us as HBCUs in general, is that even when we do slip up, there is someone there who is still willing to work with you. But he has to see that these people are still willing to work with him, and he cannot take that for granted, because they could have easily picked someone else for this season, but they chose him. So he needs to get out his head and really like focus. It's only it's like a few short weeks. Like, so you telling me you can't buckle down and get serious for a few short weeks? But once again, it goes back to my main point. This is something for them to do, not necessarily something that they want to do. There's no like driving force behind it. You know, we go to college because we want an education. We want to advance ourselves in our careers. That's the driving force with us going to college. There's been many a night, I'm sure you can attest to this, I'm sitting at my laptop doing my work, and I'm sitting here questioning all my life choices about maybe if I drop out right now, I will be okay. Many times, crying, like tears. I've called my mom. I said, Mom, I don't want to do this anymore. And she's like, it's okay. It's okay. I'm like, no, Mom, it's not. I'm really about to sit here and I'm going to drop out. Like, you can ask, like, my college teaching VSU. Every week, I was in my advisor's office. I said, CB, I'm going to drop out. She said, no, you're not. No, you're not. We're going to talk. We're going to get you off the ledge. Ask me, did I drop out? No. Not only did I graduate with honors, now I got 2 degrees. So it's just like, because that's what I wanted. Like, I wanted my education. I wanted those degrees. So I feel like for them, this is just like, oh, this is like a cool experience. You know, it's nice to be on this little show. This isn't something that like, yeah, like I really, 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 really want this. So it's like when you don't really want something, like you move like with the sense of, okay. Like I'll do it. Like I'll do it. But you know, like, not like, oh yeah, like I really, really, really want to do it, you know? So we'll see.
But listen, so you can read my recap of College Hill, where I got real deep into the weeds. I talked about the college experience. Like I forgot I was talking about College Hill, how deep I got into it on recap. I'm giving a dissertation in my article. Go read it. You know, on Clutch Points right now. But Kiya, like, where can we find you on social media, and where can we find your work?
Okay, so you can also find my work on Clutch Points, and you can follow me at Kiya on Fire. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube. I'm back in my YouTube bag. Just dropped the video, so you guys go ahead and check that out.
Like what you hear?
Yeah.
Subscribe to HBCU Pulse Radio on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Also, head to HBCUPulse.com to stay up to date on what's going on in the HBCU community. Thank you for listening to HBCU Pulse Radio.